and have a special video for y'all today. I'm coming to you from Kennesaw Mountain National Battlefield Park, to be precise, of course, in Kennesaw, Georgia. Of course, Kennesaw Mountain, if you're up on your Civil War history, of course, is a site of a rather large battle, and a lot of history happened in and around my area of Georgia. We've been to a museum, couple towns now, all very rich in history. And what makes today's video a little bit more special is we're actually going to go over some secret history, something that used to be here at the Kennesaw Mountain Park. Again, it is a national park that is no longer here. That you won't find this in any book, in any plaque, and something I personally find very interesting. So thank you for watching this video, and hope you join me. So, of course, here at the park, at Kennesaw Mountain Park, there are several trails. There's trails that go up the mountain, trails that go around the mountain, and there's trails in the general area. So today we're not going up the mountain. It is a very cold January day. It's in the 30s, and I imagine it's only colder. You can kind of see the mountain up through the trees there. I can only imagine it's colder at the top. So maybe we'll do that another time. They also do offer shuttles up. I don't know if those are running, but again, I know it's going to be that much colder there. So we're actually going to be on part of what's called the environmental trail. Now, the environmental trail used to be called the Discovery Trail, and we're just going to go on a portion of this here. And you can see it's very nice. I know this is used for a lot of school groups who may not be making the journey all the way up the top of the mountain. But they have these very nice landscape timbers, making a nice wide path here. And even though it is cold, January, it is a very nice day today. The sun's out. And like I said, maybe we'll get to that, the top of the mountain another day, maybe in the spring. But if you've never been here, like I said, this is part of the National Park Service. There is a small parking fee of $5, which isn't bad. Of course, there are annual options and other programs you can take advantage of, but $5 isn't bad. Got a nice bench there you could rest on. Then we come to a fork in the road. Let's see. Please say right to continue on the environmental trail. It's not very crowded today. And what I want to show you is actually more this way. So we are going to go against traffic. Again, if it's a busier day, by all means, please follow the directional arrows. This is a beautiful park. And again, if you're not familiar with the park itself, they do host several events throughout the year, including Civil War reenactments. And they have several cannons on display. I'll try to show you guys one of those before the video's over. Oh. Got a gentle wind. We had a leaf blow. I thought there was an animal there. Alright, we shouldn't be too much further. Oh, looks like we have a sign here. So this is a historical marker. U.S. 66th, excuse me, Illinois 2nd Brigade Mercy Divisionary attack. So, like I said, there's a rather large battle that occurred here, so this must be where a specific skirmish took place. And we're just going to continue right along this way. And like I said, what I'm going to show you is secret in the sense that not a lot of people know about it. Looks like we have another historical marker right here. It's like another part of the battle that took place here. And those are actually a newer edition. I don't ever recall those signs being out here before. Okay, this is back in here a little bit further than I remembered, but makes it all the more interesting of a story that I'm going to tell once we get there. I've only passed two other hikers so far, so like I said, I mean, it is middle of the day on a Wednesday, so not too bad, and definitely better than it gets to be on the weekend. This park gets to be really crowded. See, we got a little dip in the trail here. A little bit of a hill. But not too bad. Nothing compared to hiking up a mountain. All right, I do believe our stop is right up here. The ground is starting to level out, so that tells me we are getting close. Oh man, it's cold today. Gotta watch for roots on this trail. Of course, if I tripped while filming, that'd probably make for a good video, wouldn't it? it is beautiful back here. It looks like we have another historical marker up here. We have signs of again, another part of the battle here at Kennesaw Mountain. And then right here, we have a display on the rocks here. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived to the approximate area that we were trying to reach. So you're probably asking, Warren, what are you going to show me way out here that no one else knows about? Well, you see, here's how the story goes. Around the fall of 1998, there was a scout who, again, scout at the time, Boy Scouts of America, who had an agreement with the Rangers here at the Kennesaw Mountain National Battlefield Park. I know that's a mouthful, to do an Eagle project. And what they had requested of this scout was to build kind of a mini amphitheater or outdoor classroom, because again, this trail was/is used for a lot of school trips that come out here, opposed to hiking all the way up the mountain. And this outdoor classroom would be a spot where Rangers would stop their groups, let them all have a seat on the benches, and, have a presentation. And the whole trail that we walked getting back here, the scouts that helped build that project had to haul back all sorts of lumber, nails, tools, shovels, which are tools, bags of concrete, water. It was a lot of labor. And unfortunately, just with time and age and the way all things go, the outdoor classroom is no longer with us. It just kind of nature reclaimed the wood in the area. And if you haven't guessed by now, how I know all this was that this was my Eagle project. And I was always very proud to have done it here at Kennesaw Mountain. And like I said, it was a lot of work, and I don't see any remnants, any of the wood that was here, or the sign holder. That is, actually, I retrieved the sign. I have that at home as kind of a keepsake. But I'm really appreciative that they gave me the opportunity to do that back here in the late 90s. Actually, earned my Eagle in January of 1999, so not too far there. I was rather young when I earned my Eagle. I was only 14. Some people say, you're too, if you're younger than 16, that's too young for an Eagle. I personally disagree, because I stayed active well beyond my 18th birthday when I became an assistant scoutmaster. But even as a youth afterwards, I was active in the Order of the Arrow, and became a junior assistant scoutmaster, earned Eagle Palms by earning additional merit badges. So don't let anybody discourage you from earning it sooner than 16, or waiting up until you're 18. But like I said, if there's anyone watching this, of course I know my parents were there, and of course my brother, but anyone else, including them, that was involved in my project, again, it was a lot of labor. Thank you so much. I know I said it back then, I'll say it again now. But let's take a look around the area just a little bit more before we take off and see more of the park. So like I said, you know, a lot of the terrain around here, I mean, we are near a mountain, so it is a little hilly, you know, kind of rocky. So that's why it was built in an area where it kind of leveled off here. Like I said, you know, all these rocks on the ground and everything. We had wheelbarrows, wagons, all that, and of course just carrying stuff too. And we had to contend with all that, including that rather large dip we saw back there. And you know, it is a shame that the project didn't last, you know, to where my children could have seen it and potentially used it, but unfortunately that's the way some things go in this world. However, as we saw walking out here, it is nice to see that scouts are still a part of Kennesaw Mountain, and you know, the upkeep and doing eagle projects out here. So very, very happy to see that. And it looks like there might have been, of course, over time, storms. As with anywhere, natural erosion, you know, a lot of downed trees. But yeah, it was over right in this area. And, you know, what was nice about the project, too, is I was able to get all the materials actually donated. There used to be a lumber yard not far from my home. It was over on Canton Road, again in Marietta, Georgia. It was called Leeds Building Supply, and they're not there anymore, or they sold it. Believe it's a different business now, but they supplied all the lumber. And if I'm not mistaken, and again, this was back in 1998, I believe the concrete was donated as well. Honestly, I hate to say it, I forget if it was Leeds or if it was another business. Could have been Home Depot, I'm not. Again, my memory is a little foggy there. But hey, at least in the area where the project was, we do have some historical recognition, and of course, a spotlight on the rocks in the area. And everybody will be happy to know that we are now going the right way on the trail. Hear a lot of birds. Again, nice day. And as we continue to make our way back to the main lot up here, just a little bit more backstory to my eagle project. So it was actually the second proposal I had for an eagle project. Actually almost completed it at my elementary school. And had a proposal to build, you know, some outdoor benches, kind of similar to what I did here. But I also had the idea to have a barbecue pit there, you know, for cookouts, you know, maybe PTA events, other scouting events. At the time, our Cub Scout pack, again, I was in a troop at this point, but our Cub Scout pack actually met out of our elementary school. So, you know, multiple use, community and school events. And what happened is, like I said, I got a lot of my materials donated, and I approached the PTA and asked them if they'd be interested in providing any funds, you know, any kind of donation to go toward that project. And, you know, before that, I had the principal on board and the administration at the school. And after I approached the PTA, I got a phone call from the principal, and the PTA had convinced the administration that we didn't need that project. And, you know, I can understand the barbecue pit, but they weren't interested in the benches or anything out there. So my permission to proceed with that project was revoked, which is unfortunate. I'm hoping other Eagle Scouts haven't had similar experiences. But again, the rangers here at Kennesaw Mountain National Park were very kind and very open to the idea, and actually even excited. And again, I am very thankful and appreciative of those rangers. I'm sure none of them work here anymore. Well, getting a little shaky there. Again, it's the roots in the ground. But, you know, again, it's something that I'll always remember was here, even if there's not any, you know, plaques or any kind of fanfare for it. You know, I know it was there. And we're still walking back, but I didn't realize how much, I don't know if you can tell in the video, how much of a incline this is here. Of course, we're going down, but again, just thinking back to 98 when we hauled all that stuff out there, and boy, that was a chore. But again, well worth it. And just reminds me, you know, again, I'm digging up all sorts of, you know, memories here, going back and visiting where my Eagle project was. Funny story, I won't say who it was, but because they're probably going to be watching this video. When I was meeting with kind of the lead ranger here about the logistics of the project, this one person I was with did ask the ranger, because, you know, you always see the rangers with guns, and you think, well, they're not police officers. What are they going to use the guns for? And, you know, of course, you know, you think of animals or anything like that. But this person I was with actually asked the ranger if it was a real gun, as opposed to, you know, something that would just intimidate somebody, or, you know, maybe a BB gun, stun gun, or whatever. But no, it was a regular sidearm. And you know, as funny as that seems, you know, looking back at it, it is something you might not even think of. But yeah, so lesson learned: the guns you see park rangers wearing, they're real, and you know, for whatever case they may need them for, they're real. All right, so we are emerging from the environmental trail, and actually, I just caught a glimpse of something over here. This makes me feel good. So it appears that off to the side of the trailhead, there is a spiritual successor to my Eagle project, as we have this nice little stage, and we have benches for there to be different programs, such as school programs. So again, it's not the one I built or any piece of it necessarily, but oh, this makes it even better. Look. It's another Eagle project. This was by John Savio the 4th, Troop 797 out of Marietta, September 2024, just a couple years ago. Okay, that makes me feel so much better. So again, you have this stage. Okay, we're gonna climb up on it. And then you can look out at who you're presenting to. Oh, this makes me feel good. So there's, again, a spiritual successor here. Hey, and if you've ever been to Kennesaw Mountain and you've been on this trail or you've used this new amphitheater here, drop a comment in the comments, please. But this is awesome. I'm very, very happy to see this, and almost fell off the stage there. But also even happier to see it was another Eagle project. And this here, so we didn't really have access to this. We had pressure treated wood, but this is like that hardy plank type material, so this thing will last too. All right, we're coming up on one of the almighty important dogway stations where we reach a cannon that I promised to show. This is probably one of the most picturesque setups they have here for a cannon. You can see it's perched up here on top of these rocks, this little hill. They do have others throughout the property. This one you see if you get to park in the main lot. Again, they do have some satellite lots. You drive right by this upon your entrance here. They do have a visitor center, which we're gonna take a stop in there. Let's cross the road here, and you can see this is the main battlefield here where they actually do a lot of reenactments, and right off to the side there are some more cannons. All right, let's go inside the visitor center here. This is included with your parking / admission. Again, only $5. Several other programs available for that too. Oh, before we go inside, we're greeted by another cannon, and I'm sorry I don't know all the differences between all the cannons, but hate to be on the wrong side of that. All right, so we're inside the museum portion. Got another cannon there. Museum portion of the museum. So, of course, all about the battle here. All about the Civil War. And they've redone this a few times since I've, started coming here. I don't think I've seen this version of the museum. I like the big cutouts. So you have the southern perspective of the war, and you got the northern perspective. Then this shows some of the different cannons here. This is a 12-pounder bronze Napoleon gun and a 6-pounder bronze gun above it. Again, I'm not somebody that's up on their military or weapons history, but I just think it's neat seeing actual artifacts that were used. And then here's paper money that was printed. See, so it was printed by state and local governments, even private companies in the Civil War South. Southerners had to rely on small bills or shin plasters to make change because the Confederacy did not have enough gold, silver, or copper to mint coins. We have a Confederate belt buckle there. A cotton card. What is a cotton card? Made by housewives to separate raw cotton fibers into strands for spinning and weaving. And then here's a sock that was knitted by women and girls of Confederate soldiers. This sock belonged to Lieutenant Colonel Columbus Sykes of the 43rd Mississippi Infantry. Oh, and they have this. You can touch this. This is a railroad spike designed. So that was similar to the railroad spikes used. Here we have a display on map making. Rather large telescope there. Then you can see the bayonet that would be attached to the rifle or the musket here. And again, I encourage you to, if you're in the area, come out and check out the museum. You can spend a little bit more time, reading and understanding everything for yourself. I'm just giving you a high-level overview. So, Cherokee Dragons, or Dragoons. Interesting. See, it says down here, ladies of Cherokee County present the Cherokee Dragoons with this beautiful embroidered banner. The flag has the company name on one side and the stars and bars on the other. Interesting. And down below here, you do have kind of a display on the different Confederate flags. And then we saw this at the Marietta History Center. But here's another surgeon's kit. This is a Union surgeon's kit. As we said before, the best surgeons back in the day were the ones that could remove the wounded appendage the fastest. And you can see there's the, saw in there, the bullet extractor, the little hatchet for the fingers. Again, as I said in that other video, thank goodness we have moved past that in medical technology. Has some uniforms in here and some miscellaneous items. We got a beeswax candlestick with this holder. You got a canteen, mess kit. We have a Union belt buckle there. Shaving kit, toothbrush. And this says bone-handled toothbrush. Interesting. I couldn't imagine brushing my teeth holding on to bone, but I'm sure, it was a little bit more normal. Has some more guns and muskets, rifles. And again, if you have any interest in learning more about the Civil War, come to Georgia. Come to around the Marietta and Kennesaw area. You can just learn so much and experience so much. This is cool. This is called a cavalrymen use a hoof knife to clean and trim their horses' feet. So that would have been used for horses. Here's a dragoon stirrup. And then we have the front side of the cannon we saw coming in. which has, oh, whoa, motion sensor light there. It's like, let there be light. So anyways, we have all the different parts of a cannon. You can see the dissection of a cannonball here, or a K-shot. And, you know, this definitely makes up for us not seeing any cannons at the Marietta History Center, because they're all over here at Kennesaw Mountain. Again, just imagine something coming out at you there. Actually gotten the fire cannons like this before at a scout summer camp in Texas. It's not easy. You have to, I don't see quite all the tools here, but of course, you know, you use these to pack the gunpowder and your shot down. But before that, in between shots, there's a little stick with like a curled piece of metal on it. You actually have to clean it out first, which that might be it backwards there. I can't tell. But again, I'm sure there's differences in cannons as well. Here's another touch station. It says, this brick is an original artifact from the 19th century Kennesaw House Hotel. Hey, we were there. That's the Marietta History Center. So that's one of their original bricks. And this showcases a lot of the individuals who actually fought in the battles at Kennesaw. And of course, it all ends with the United States of America being reunited. It looks like these are some Union reunion ribbons, Confederate reunion ribbons. And then we have a pretty sizable gift shop here. I like this shirt. You have your walking staff medallions here, patches, a couple different walking staff medallions. Some walking sticks if you need them. Probably to go up the mountain, I would advise to have one. Lots of books here. Flags. American flags. And stickers. And you can buy the little flags up here and little stands for them. I've never seen the stands. That's pretty cool. And of course you could buy a little cannon. Again, one of the stars here. And we got glassware here. Some nice different mugs and vases. Says this is from Jamestown Glass. National Park Yahtzee and Monopoly down here. And Jenga. And we got Civil War bobbleheads. Oh, and a bugle. That would be cool to have, especially for camping trips. All right, so that was a short overview, again, of the Kennesaw Mountain National Battlefield Park Visitor Center Museum. It's a very good museum. They have a lot of information in there. Again, we didn't take the time to read it all, showcase everything, but that's to encourage you to come out and check it out as well. And again, we also took a trip back and saw some secret history here. Of course, you know, me with my previous Eagle project, you know, it's always nice to come back and kind of reminisce about it. So anyways, if you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to please give a like on YouTube, and of course subscribe if you like to have alerts for when there are new videos coming out. Again, putting them out most weekdays. We'll see if that schedule keeps up. And again, there's always shorts if you like to watch those in the interim. But anyways, I want to thank you once again for watching. It means a lot to me. And hope you have a great day. Stay warm, and God bless.